Good morning. Welcome to week 2 of the course. I am very much enjoying getting to know each of you through your intro videos, the getting to know you assignment that I asked you to give me, which has a little more detail, and through the forum post, which I will be continuing to reflect upon and grade today and tomorrow. So this week we start a topic related to social and social and economic justice and the development of social welfare policy in the United States as it relates to race, which who would think that in 2016 this would be such a heated and controversial and ongoing discussion when social workers 150 years ago were beginning to look at racial and ethnic and immigration issues in the United States and in our profession as we began with Jane Addams, in the settlement house movement in the late 1800s. She cared about what was happening for the new immigrants in this country, about ethnic and racial minorities. And here we are in 2016, and we face maybe even greater issues because of the social and economic and racial intersection that is happening in this country right now, and the violence that is coming from that, that is so visible now in social media. So, for this week, you have two assignments. The first is a personal values essay, having reflected upon, your own journey into social work and how the issue of race, social, and economic justice relates to you. So I'd like to just share a little bit about my story. I grew up in South Jersey, which I know some of you are from the Philadelphia, South Jersey area. I was born in Camden, New Jersey. My brothers and sisters all graduated from St. Joe's High, which is now closed in Camden. My father worked at RCA, which was started in Camden in the early 1900s as a producer of media in the early days of radio, television, and phonograph records. He worked there for 42 years, starting prior to World War II. And my family was very committed and integrated into the Camden community through, my parents bought a house there following World War II, and my brothers and sisters were all raised there. And until the late 1960s, when the racial impact began to hit too close to home for them. And, as a Irish Catholic white family, my father felt pressure and they felt the push to move out of the community that they really felt very close to and very strongly committed to. We moved about 5 miles away to a town called Runnymede, which was entirely white. Maybe there was less than 1% racial and ethnic minorities. And that 5 miles was a dramatic, dramatic difference. My siblings still finished at St. Joe's High through the early 1970s, but my lived experience going to school in Runnymede and then to the Catholic high school in that area was a very white experience. And my father increased in his anger and his racism and his hatred to what he saw happening in Camden. And, was it racial? Was it economic? Was it social? But that was what I heard growing up. And, I heard some really inappropriate things from my family. But I knew at a really young age that I felt uncomfortable, that I did not agree with my father, that I myself was other, was different, being, a young gay woman, young lesbian. Um, and I knew coming out to them was not going to be okay. So I think in some ways it made me connect with others I saw as disenfranchised, whether by race, by intellectual ability, uh, you know, socioeconomic. And that drove me for social work. That drove my passion. So this topic this week around social and economic and racial justice, what does that mean in social work? What does that mean personally? Is something that I feel very passionate about. So I look forward to reading your personal essays and also your reflection on the Smedley and Smedley article, which does a nice job of tracing the historical origins of race, which is a socially constructed phenomenon. I have added 3 things to the reading, so please take a look at those. One is the Humane Project, which is getting a lot of attention internationally over the last month, which is a artistic project looking at race, and that Angelica Das has put together, and I welcome your comments on that. I also have put up an article from the New Social Worker on Black Lives Matter and how one social work educator incorporated that into her classroom teaching during the last year. And then the third thing that I put up was an article recently from Huffington Post on the 11 things that white people need to realize about race, because I think that we need to acknowledge our uncomfortableness as a United States, as a culture, and then internationally. The European Union is very much struggling with similar kinds of issues as the refugee crisis movement uh, continues there. And if you're following anything that is happening in Great Britain, in England, you'll see that, it's not just about race. That Polish immigrants, migrants there are feeling the pushback from the folks that consider themselves, Great Britons. So, as I said, I look forward to all the readings this week and your reflection, your essay, and your forum. I would also like to touch base with each person this week via text or a phone call, because I do like to have that personal interaction. And next week, I'm going to schedule a chat so that we can interact with each other using Google Hangouts. So I will send out an email with instructions on how to do that, and I will create a group chat for our class and schedule some times early next week that we can meet on Hangouts. So again, what I'm asking is if each person could shoot me a text or give me a call sometime this week so I can just touch base with you personally, and then I will schedule some Google Chats. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I will talk with all of you soon. Thanks.